gang, I apologize. The first episode of the new year is me. Another update. But like I told you, my biggest issue is scheduling. Like I said, I have anywhere from 10 to 15 guests that are willing to come on and chat. It's just a matter of syncing up our schedules. My schedule is really, really difficult. People who have kids, full-time jobs. I mean, you guys get it. So I wasn't planning on doing an update, but at the same time, things are progressing. Things are changing. There are updates to share. So we're going to go through it. I am literal pounds away from the halfway mark. So again, my surgery was, what was it, June 29th, July 29th? So we're not even officially at 6 months, but I do have a quote unquote 6-month follow-up with my doctors this week. They just had me do blood work to make sure my protein levels, my calcium levels, all that stuff is good. Because as I've mentioned, I do have to take some supplements just for the nutrients that my body is expelling, missing, draining, however you want to phrase it. So I do have to take calcium every single day. Again, my diet is protein heavy. At least I certainly try to keep it that way, because that's what my body needs the most at this time. Again, trying to stay away from sugar, trying to stay away from carbs, trying to stay away from full fat dairy. But you know, when you're out and about, shit just happens. It's not like, you know, I can go to a restaurant and be like, do you have any low fat cheese? Do you have any reduced fat cheese? That's just not a thing. So, you know, portion, I'm still eating until my body tells me to stop, put the fork down. You know, I'm not in the business of making myself sick, giving myself heartburn, what have you. And my body is still telling me, you know, I will burp, or I'll get indigestion, or I'll just, you know, be uncomfortable if I have too much or if I eat too fast. So I'm still doing all the same things, still listening to my body. I'm really happy to report that the hair loss has stopped. So I am, you know, obviously, you know, you lose hair in the shower or whatever, but it's not to the degree that it was. It's pretty much, you know, the normal, quote unquote, normal amount for me in the shower. So that's been really nice, because I've been not self-conscious, but I am keeping my haircut as short as possible, because it is extremely noticeable when the hair starts to get a little longer, when it starts touching my shoulders, especially at the end of the day. My hair is just limp and lifeless, and just I just don't like it. So I'm keeping the haircut short so it doesn't look, it's not as noticeable. But also, when I part my hair in the morning, I have this little like porcupine trail in my part of all these little hairs sticking up. So my hair is growing back. I'm also very happy to report, because again, you really don't know what could happen after something like that. Sometimes it doesn't grow back. Sometimes it grows back differently. I know with cancer patients in particular, if they shave their head completely, or if they just lose their hair completely, sometimes it grows back curly when it was straight before, and vice versa. So I didn't really know what to expect, but so far it's just looking like my hair. Just I have these tiny little 2-inch little wisps on my part. So I'm sure, you know, when people see me out, they're like, the fuck? But for me, it's progress. For me, it's growth. So I'm happy about it. So I'm not self-conscious about that in any way. I literally today just ordered new pants for myself, because I have dropped yet another pant size. So like I said, I'm pounds away from the halfway mark. I will say I started at my job 12 years ago, 15 pounds heavier than I am now. So I have not been this weight for about, I would say 15 years. I have not been this size clothing wise, because it's really interesting now. My clothing size and my weight are no longer kind of on the same level. I don't know how to explain it, but I was in the 20s with pants since college, since toward the tail end of high school. And now I am no longer in the 20s. And that's a really strange reality for me, because I genuinely do not recall a time when I was in teens for my pants. So I'll say clothing size, I haven't been this size since probably early days high school. So that's wild. And it's, yeah, like I said, it's really interesting just seeing my body changing and where it's changing. My boobs are horrific. My boobs are like down to my belly button. It's really unfortunate. I joke that I have to roll them up to get them in my bra, but I mean, I look like a melting candle. Personally, that's the best way that I can describe it. Like the top is looking really good. Like my shoulder area, my face, my neck look really thin and they look really good. But, my upper arms are still flab city. And then everything just kind of droops from my chest down. I will say, now my stomach still kind of looks relatively the same to me. There's really no change there other than just it's smaller. My butt is starting to get saggy, which I was having a salad and I was, I was like, it was in its container and I was shaking it with the dressing and everything like the Kardashians do. And I was standing at the time. So I'm shaking it and I'm noticing my my ass is just jiggling like crazy. I'm like, oh, okay. So the butt is definitely starting to sag and get a little floppy. I think I mentioned before, my thighs look atrocious. Like I was wearing, when I went to physical therapy for my ankle, I was wearing a lighter color like yoga pant kind of thing. And oh my God, the cottage cheese thighs were just showing right through it. I was like, okay, well, sticking to black leggings when I leave the house, sticking to jeans when I leave the house, no more light colored clothing. So, I mean, and I'm not saying that to say that I'm feeling some kind of way. Like I'm not certain things I don't care about, like the legs. I'm like, whatever. Like I don't wear short shorts. I'll never wear short shorts. I'm never wearing short skirts, regardless of what ends up happening. So in that sense, it's not that big of a deal to me because I can cover them up and I can kind of hide what's going on underneath. Same thing with my butt. Like I'm not wearing thongs or anything like that. So my hammies aren't flapping around anywhere. It's fine. Like they'll be contained in my underwear, but these are all just signs of progress. Again, I didn't do this for vanity. I did this for my health. I did this to feel better. And I feel great. I feel, people ask me all the time, how are you feeling? And I'm like, it is night and day from 6 months ago when I would leave work barely able to walk. And I'm not exaggerating by any means. I mean, my own coworkers have seen it. There were times when I was really struggling to just walk down the stairs. And I was in a lot of pain just trying to get in and out of my car. And, there would be some days when I would come home and I had to lay down because I just couldn't physically stand, it was really bad. Between the issues that I have with my back, the issues that I have with my knees, with my feet were killing me right before my surgery. And things are so much better in that regard. Like, yeah, if I get tired or something, or if it was a particularly rough day, like, yeah, I do have issues with things still, but overall, I feel so much better. I do feel the changes in my body. I wouldn't say that I feel stronger. I still haven't gone back to the gym. And it's not even a matter of, not wanting to or whatever. I've just, you guys, as like, again, with this podcast situation, like I said, with the schedule and stuff, I just really have not had that time yet. But there are classes that I want to sign up for. There are things that I want to do. So, I'm not doing a New Year's resolution. You guys know I don't stand with that shit. But when the new year comes and I finally, now the holiday garbage has calmed down, not garbage, the holiday was nice. Sorry. And my cat is playing with her toy because heaven forbid I get a fucking hour or to myself on this thing. But here we are. I mean, listen, on the positive side, I'm glad she still likes it after 2 years, but bitch, like, why do you need to do that while I'm recording? That's just how she is. Bougie. So now that things have calmed down as far as my schedule, as far as making time to see people who are in town, holiday shit, like I said, whatever, I will be going to the gym and signing up for these classes and making a change there. So I am looking forward to it. But it's all things that take time and like I said, it's stuff that I need to work on. I was talking with my chiropractor about it because I am at a point where I'm plateauing as far as the weight loss is concerned. Oh my God, seriously? This cat. Thank you. Really unnecessary. So the scale has not been moving like it has been. And my chiropractor said, listen, for women with this particular thing, once you hit that certain, and he said, listen, your body is recalibrating. Like, don't forget that. Like, yes, the surgery was almost 6 months ago. Yes, you're still dropping sizes. Yes, you're still doing the right things, but also it's your body is realizing like, okay, so change has been made. Now I have to change. And now, you know what I mean? Like, so I'm trying really, really hard not to focus on the scale. But again, being that we're literal pounds away from the halfway mark, it's really hard because it's on my mind. And that's what I'm thinking about right now. Sorry, the cat now wants attention from me. Oh my God. Girl, I love you and I appreciate it. But why when I'm doing things? Like, you can have my attention any other time. But okay. So it's just, and I said to my chiropractor too, I said, you know what, there are things that I could be doing. Yes, I am still going on my walks every day, but like I said, I haven't been back to the gym yet. My diet has changed in the sense that certain things no longer satisfy me, satiate me, fill me up, whatever you want to call it. Like I said, there's no rhyme or reason to when I get extremely hungry versus when I can go hours without eating. I cannot predict it. I cannot gauge it. There's nothing I can fucking do. Sometimes I am out and I am desperate to get something to eat and I have to make a bad decision, or I have to choose something that will hold me over for the time being, but I know the moment I get home, I've got to eat, or the moment I'm somewhere where I can make a better decision, I have to eat. That has not changed. And that really, really sucks because, again, especially, if you're out and about, like, Christmas shopping or seeing friends or just running regular errands and you're stuck in traffic because it's been the holidays or whatever the case may be, that really sucks when all of a sudden it hits you and it's like, fuck you, you need to fucking eat or you're going to have a real problem. So again, like I said, I had to go get blood work done and I chose not to eat. Like, I didn't have to fast, but I said, you know what, I'm not going to have a full meal because I really would like, as realistic results as I can get. And I don't want whatever it is that I would eat to affect that. So I thought I could get away with just having a protein shake. And that was not the case. By the time I was there getting the blood work, I was at a point where it was like, if I don't get out of here right now and get something, I will probably pass out. It was not good. Like, I was shaky. I was really unstable. I really couldn't focus. It was really, really fucking bad. So so the things, like I said, that were sustaining me, again, I was on the liquid diet for 2 weeks and then I was on purees. And then as I was slowly getting into solid foods, I was still having protein shakes here and there. That's not covering it anymore. I cannot last on liquids. I need solid food. And it's got nothing to do with me. That's just my body I'm just doing what my body's telling me. And that's what it told me at the time. It was actually really, really scary. And I was like, oh, I made a bad fucking call here. But now I know for the future. So again, when they tell me I don't have to fast, okay, I'm not going to fast because my body did not appreciate that fucking move. So it is what it is. And I apologize for cursing. Again, it is a late hour and maybe that's the catalyst. So I will try and watch myself here. But yeah, so, like I said, things are definitely still changing. They're ever changing, but they're also improving in the sense that, like I said, I am now down 4 dress sizes. I am a weight I haven't been in over a decade. My hair is growing back. I'm still, like I said, keeping active. Work obviously helps with that, but I'm still, even when I get home from work, I still do my regular laps around my neighborhood, just because I'm the type of person that I have to stay consistent or it'll just drop. I was actually talking with somebody at work about that because we were doing something and he says, oh, this isn't working right, so you don't have to do that. And I said, no, I have to do it, because if I fall into the pattern of thinking like, oh, it's okay, I just can't. I have to do things consistently. I am a very routine based oriented person. So it has to happen. So I've been walking in the rain. I've been walking in the absolute freezing cold. And I'm still getting out there. I do have an exercise bike here at home, but again, I haven't made that part of my routine, and maybe I should. Maybe that's something that I should start thinking about doing as well. I don't like it. My mom is on there. She seems to enjoy it. It's like I said, the things I know that work for me, I have to stick with, because once I start ignoring them, then they're going to turn into something that doesn't work for me. You understand what I'm saying? And then it'll just drop off and I just won't do it. And that's me just, I don't know if that's, am I an asshole? I don't know if that's, but that's just, I know myself well enough to know what works and what has to remain consistent and what I can do to stay consistent. That's why gym memberships never worked for me, because that was always an issue. Cause it's like I said, all of my shit it's schedule based. So it's when I can fucking get there. And guess what? They're not open 24 hours. So sometimes I can't get there. And that's the issue that I'm running into right now. I did love swimming, but I don't know how to explain this, but for some reason when I switched gyms, their setup, their vibe, even though they're closer to my house, for some reason it doesn't work for me going swimming there. I could get into depth with it. I'm not going to bore anybody with my own personal bullshit and hangups, but I don't get the same joy out of it at this particular gym that I got it at the gym that was 30 minutes from my house, and that I would have to literally hone an entire day around to go swim. But that's just me. I've got to figure something else out. And like I said, there are classes that they have that I'm interested in. So it's just a matter of going in, finding what works for my schedule, setting shit up and making that happen. So that's my goal for this coming week. Again, not a New Year's resolution. It just happens to be that now things have calmed down and I can take the time to do that. But that's what's going on there. So I really haven't been craving too much. I have started having chocolate again. So I do crave something sweet every so often, but I'm still trying to be really good about that. And again, my body won't let me overindulge with that, thankfully. So that hasn't gotten too crazy. But I'm not treating myself to the things that I would treat myself to before. Like I said, empty calories, that's not what's going to help me. So I'm not treating myself to a bagel, from the place up the street. I'm not, I drink water. That's what I'm drinking. And like I said, I do get like the yogurt based drinks every so often, the high protein yogurt, like Chobani, little drinks. Those are kind of what I've been supplementing as a sweet treat. Getting the different flavors of those. Protein shakes do not fill me up, as I've mentioned. So I don't bother. Because again, I don't want to be again, yes, it's high protein, but for me, if I can't feel full, those are empty calories, because I'm still going to be searching for actual food. And so now I'm just adding to my calorie count. And that's not something that I want to be doing either. Like, obviously we got to this point for a reason. So certain behaviors, like I said, I need to do what my body will respond best to. So the protein shakes are no longer it. So those are kind of out. Thankfully, those keto cookies, like I've mentioned in the past, I'm kind of sick of them, but at the same time, they are doing their job. They are helping me out, keeping me, from getting sick or dizzy or, from my blood sugar dropping, especially when I'm at work in between my breaks. So I'm sticking with those. Those have consistently continued to help me. But yeah, I'm still getting the factor meals. I give myself a good variety there as far as, my proteins and my veggies. So those have consistently been good. I'm telling you guys, if you're looking for something, I highly recommend Factor. They work the best for my lifestyle. Again, as I said, I've done HelloFresh in the past, but with my schedule the way it is with my job, never knowing when I'll have the time to cook the 2 meals for the week. And also, they deliver on their schedule, not on my schedule. So there's only so much that I can do in that regard as well. So it's just, Factor has been so much better for me. And like I said, when I go over to my girlfriend Tammy's house, I never know what we're going to have there. So I do have Factor meals over there, just in case they, decide, oh, we're just having sandwiches, or we're just going to, everyone has those days where it's like, oh, I'm just going to have popcorn for dinner. Well, I can't do that. So the Factor meals are at Tammy's, in case she has one of those days where she's like, fuck it. Or, hey, I grabbed something on my way home. We're not having dinner. So, okay. I have stuff there to make sure that I'm still taking care of myself and doing the right things for myself while being able to enjoy spending time with my best friend. So, that's what we're doing. And, like I said, so I just kind of wanted to give you guys the update because things are still ever changing. Like I said, I'm literally 2-3 pounds away, and the scale was not moving for about a month. At least it felt like a month. Maybe it was 2 weeks, but it was stuck at 5 pounds from the halfway mark for a couple of weeks. And I was, like I said, trying not to obsess over it. But when I'm like, I have this goal that I'm trying to accomplish and it's just not happening. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what more can I do? You feel like, what more can I do? But again, it's not even a matter of like, oh, don't eat. Cause like I said, my body's not having that. So it's really at this point now for me, I just need to move around more. So getting back to the gym, like I said, work has absolutely helped with that. But there are times when I have really good days at work and I'm afforded the luxury of being able to sit, which is wild. Not everybody gets that. And I certainly hadn't gotten that in quite some time. Like I said, I was going home not being able to walk because it was so physically demanding and my body was not in a place where it could do those things anymore. But now, thankfully, things have calmed down at least for now, knock on wood there. But, that can all change as well. So I'm keeping on as the term goes, the expression goes. But I just, like I said, I apologize that it's just me. I apologize that it's a short episode. This is not the way I had planned on starting 2024, but I mean, it's kind of consistent with the podcast. There are weeks where I fall behind and I just can't get anybody to sit down and talk to me. Even producer Mike, I really, really want to talk about his film coming up because the premiere is at the end of the month. It's really exciting. I think he's worked really, really hard. He's working even harder right now, trying to button up and get everything ready for the premiere. He's been selling tickets like crazy at the local theater. I'm so excited for him. I'm so happy for him. And I'm just hoping that this blows the fucking doors off his production company. He's busy as fuck now. I hope he gets to a point where he's so fucking busy and he's rolling in the cash that he can hire out some folks to help him out so that things can just be bigger and better. But, it's just, like I said, so I'm beholden to other people's schedules and that's just how it is. So I appreciate you guys and your patience and sticking with me. I have been getting feedback and I have to say, Andy, my love, I got your Christmas card. I'm sorry that I didn't message you privately, but thank you so much for listening. Like you got it. Like I said, Ben, Fiona, Maria, my mom, I really appreciate you guys listening. My cousin Karen, I can't tell you what it means to me. And I don't mean to get emotional about it. Also, FYI, I'm on my period. You guys, that has not fucking changed at all. Everybody has different period symptoms. Sorry to Ben for period talk, because I know it doesn't affect you, but you have a wife, so understand. Everyone has different symptoms. My symptoms have always consistently, my entire life, when I am on my period, I can eat every bit of food in a vending machine and still not be full. And sadly, that is a problem still to this day, even after this surgery. My coworkers were teasing me because I had my keto cookie, but I also had a little small can of Pringles because I had, during the holiday season, I had put out some snacks for my delivery drivers, help yourself, take some chips, So I had some leftover cans of Pringles, the little small, tiny 1 ounce can of Pringles. And I brought those with me to work because I knew I was on my period. I knew I wasn't going to be satisfied with the one keto cookie. So again, on occasion, I do eat trash. And my coworker came over to me and he was like, I thought you were pounds away from the halfway mark. He's like, that's not going to help. And I was like, fuck you. I'm on my period. You don't understand what I'm going through right now. So, it's some things have not changed. And that certainly doesn't help, like I said, with my situation. But it is what it is. So, and if you're going to say to me, oh, well, why don't you just have 2 keto cookies? Well, calories, fat content, I'm also looking at those kinds of things as well. Whereas, yes, Pringles, cholesterol, sodium, whatever the fuck, I'm trying to balance one way or the other. So, I'm not going to get into the weeds with all of that shit, but don't worry. It's okay. Again, I wasn't sitting there with a family size bag of Lay's. It was just to tide me over. And that was the one keto cookie and the little 1 ounce can of Pringles was over a 12-hour period. So it's not like I was just pounding them every hour on the hour, but, yeah. So sadly that has not changed with my body, which also, like I said, really sucks because now when I'm hungry, I'm fucking hungry. My blood sugar is dropping. Like I said, I do get dizzy if I don't eat. It's like, DEFCON 5 or whatever. I don't know what the DEFCONs are. DEFCON 1, maybe DEFCON 1, but it's red alert for sure. So like I said, sometimes depending on the situation, depending on where I am, I do have to make a bad decision in order to just keep myself upright. And that's life right now. So, but like I said, we are still trending in the right direction. Like I said, Dr. Miles has explained to me that I'm probably only going to be losing a pound a week from now on. We knew at some point I was going to get there. I thought I'd get there a little later on in the process, but it is what it is. And I have to live with it. But like I said, I know what I need to do. I understand that consistency is key. And right after I record this, I'm going to go do my laps in my neighborhood. So, we're staying on top of it as best we can. But like I said, I didn't want to leave you guys without an episode. Again, I'm so thankful for all of you. Going into this new year, it's, like I said, I'm hoping to get to 50 episodes before I take my break, before I go off to Australia. That's only possible if I can get the schedule with, get these episodes scheduled with people. I'm doing the best that I can. It's just really difficult. Some folks just can't take that hour, and match it up with what I have available. And it is what it is. But again, for those who are listening, and if I don't know you, if I've never met you, if you are not a friend of mine on Facebook, if you are just somebody that came across this podcast, wherever you listen, please leave a comment and just let me know, because I'm so appreciative of you as well, obviously. And I'm hoping to take this pod to another level. Who knows what that will be it a Patreon, be it quasi famous guests, who knows? But I have no intentions of stopping. I have no shortage of interesting people in my life, people that I want to talk to, people that I want to share their stories. So I really do genuinely thank you all so much for your time. And I'm going to do the best that I can to keep this going. But please also follow producer Mike if you can. Mike Food Media, Bandstand Productions. Candlewood is the film that is dropping at the end of this month. Look into that. He's been doing a lot on social media, trying to get attention there. They do have a, is it a GoFundMe, Mike? I think it is. They do have a GoFundMe going. because they are intending to make this a trilogy. So they've got the first movie in the can. They want to make 2 more. That can only happen with funding. That can only happen with sponsorship, with interest, with word of mouth. It's been a big, huge word of mouth campaign. We're so, so proud of him here in New Milford. And he's trying to bring Hollywood to a really small town in Connecticut, and he's doing the damn thing. So, please, look at his stuff. He also has a podcast, as I mentioned, called The Bar is Low. They do not post episodes as consistently as I do. A little dig to you there, Mike. But again, he's doing really big things, and I'm really happy for him. And there's going to be a point where he's going to be too big to help me with this podcast. So I'm trying to learn what I can. I'm trying, like I said, I'm trying to get the schedule going. And I think that is his goal, that one day he wants to just hand this off to me and say, here, you deal with it. But it is nice having an expert, and an Emmy winner, 3-time Emmy winner, helping me out. So again, thanks you guys. I apologize, like I said, for it just being me, but it is what it is. And I will say also one more update. Crystal, you guys, was able to get pregnant the second time around. The second transfer did take. So she is pregnant. Her IPs are willing to come on the podcast and speak with us about the experience from their perspective. So that's really, really exciting. But it looks as though we're probably going to wait to do that until the baby has arrived. But just, again, shout out to Crystal. So excited for you. So excited for your IPs. It's all really good news, all really good stuff. That raspberry tea, y'all, shit. Apparently that's the magic trick there. But so that's upcoming as well. Don't know exactly when we'll be able to sit down with them. Like I said, it would definitely be after the baby comes, and hello, people, new parents, who has the time? So we'll see when that's going to happen. But like I said, the interest is there, so which I'm so excited for. So look out for that conversation somewhere down the line. It'll be months down the line. But yes, the second transfer took. She is pregnant. Baby on the way. Very, very exciting. So a lot of good things to look forward to it. And I don't know that I'll have an interview in Australia, but I am looking to have some type of travel podcast about the trip. I am going to be going on the trip. It's probably 90%, I'm sure I will be completely alone on this trip of a lifetime, but that's okay. But like I said, I'm going to try and record throughout the trip and give Mike more shit to work on. Sorry, Mike. But, so look for that. So that will come after the break. That will be probably the first episode that I launch. So that'll be episode 1 of season 2. Fuck. But yeah, so again, guys, just so much gratitude, so much appreciation. I know not everyone listens consistently. Dr. Miles, Sarah, they kind of pick and choose which episodes they want to listen to. Some of my guests don't listen to this at all. Again, okay. Try not to feel hurt by that. They don't even listen to their own episodes. Like, y'all, hello. But it's all good. So again, I appreciate all of you. Thank you all so, so much. And again, if you are someone that I don't know, please let me know your thoughts on the podcast. Hell, if you want to come on the podcast, if you have friends that have interesting jobs or interesting stories that you think are worthy of being shared, please, I would love to have them. You can always email me at trynottocurse@gmail.com. Or like I said, just leave a comment in one of whatever various services that you listen through. The easiest way, though, is to join the Facebook page. It's Try Not to Curse Podcast on Facebook. You'll get the episode updates there as well. But please, I would love to hear your comments. I'm now available on, I want to say 10, possibly 12 different platforms, which is wild to me. We are available to listen on YouTube. And for some reason, you can't search the Try Not to Curse podcast. You have to search by like the specific episode titles, which is really frustrating. And I don't know how to change that just yet. Like I said, this is all new to me. I'm still now, it's almost a year. I'm still learning. But we're available on Pocket Casts, on iHeartRadio, on YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple, on Audible, on Facebook, on Libsyn, on Amazon, on I know there's more, but it's, you guys, it's just, it boggles my mind. And I'm just so, so thankful, so, so appreciative. So again, thank you all for sticking with me. Thank you all for sharing and for talking up the pod. I love ya. And that's it. Again, Happy New Year. And more to come. Here we go.